The slide method is just a technique to help you find the greatest common factor, or GCF, the least common multiple, or LCM, and also it can be used to find the lowest term or simplest form. All of these terms are used for fractions. How do you use the slide method? Well, first, we're going to want to find out what is the GCF of, let's say, 6 and 12, the LCM of 6 and 12, and then the lowest term, let's go lowest term of 6 and 12. Okay, what we do is you're going to do something that looks like almost like a division bar, okay? And it's going to be set up like this, where it's an upside down division bar, and the numbers we're looking to see here are 6 and 12. So put those inside just like this. Now, step one, what we're doing is we need to think of some number that will evenly divide into both 6 and 12, but it can't be 1. Okay, you can't use the number 1 because 1 goes into all of those. If you only have 1, then you're done. That's going to be your number. All right, so, but for 6 and 12, as you must see, there's a few different options we could use. Let's make it easy, and always think of the easy numbers first. And so I know that 2 can divide evenly into 6, and 2 can evenly divide into 12, for after all, they're both even numbers. So I'm going to put the 2 on the outside, just like this. Now it's time to do the math. How many times will 2 evenly divide into 6? Well, it goes in 3 times. How many times can 2 evenly divide into 12? Well, I know that goes in 6 times. Okay, so now we have a problem that looks like this. Now what? Well, because we can still have other numbers go into both 6 and 12, I'm going to draw another like this. Okay, another almost upside down division bar. And now let's start the process all over again. What number can divide into both 3 and 6? Well, I know 3 can divide into both 3 and 6. 3 goes into 3 1 time. 3 goes into 6 2 times. And there we go. So now I keep going, right? Right. Well, let's draw our bar again. Now, what number can go into both 1 and 2? Well, in this case, it's only 1. Only the number 1 can go into 1, and obviously 2. So when you get to the number 1, like this, where 1 is the only number that can divide evenly into both of them, you're done. You can stop. So now, let's see how we're going to do this. I want to find out the GCF. So, in order to find the GCF, what I'm going to do is these outside numbers, okay? The 2, the 3, and the 1, these outside numbers. I'm going to multiply those together. So, that is 2 times 3 times 1. 2 times 3 is 6, times 1 is 6. So my GCF of 6 and 12 is going to be 6. Okay, get it? It's just multiplying the outside numbers of the whole slide process, okay? Just the outside. Now, to find the LCM of 6 and 12, let me change my color here. Now, we're going to use the same numbers, the 2, 3, and 1, okay? We're going to use those. But now, we're also going to grab these 1 and 2 down here. And look, when I circle all of this, it kind of forms the letter L for LCM. Now, this is done essentially the same way. The LCM of 6 and 12, you're going to multiply all of these now numbers. So it would be 2 times 3 times 1 times 1 times 2. Okay, 2 times 3, that's 6. Times 1 is 6, times 1 is 6, times 2 is 12. So the LCM of 6 and 12 is 12. Now, lastly, And I don't really have a new color here, but lastly, the lowest term of what we're looking for is right here. You put a division bar right there. The lowest term of 6 and 12 is 1/2. So it'd be 1/2 is the lowest term. All right, let's try another one. So we're going to find the GCF, LCM, and lowest term of 5 and 12. So let's get our upside down division bar, put 5 and 12 in here. Now, what's the smallest number that divides evenly into both 5 and 12, or any number that divides into 5 and 12? Well, in this case, I picked one that only 1 is the only number that can divide both into 5 and 12. So, what is that's pretty easy, right? So, what is the GCF of 5 and 12? Well, it's 1. 1 can be the right answer for the GCF. Now, what is the LCM of 5 and 12? Well, again, if we were to complete this math, 1 goes into 5 5 times, 1 goes into 12 12 times, and if you form your L, okay, so what's 1 times 5? 5. 5 times 12 is 60. So the LCM of 5 and 12 is going to be 60. And then finally, the lowest term of 5 and 12 is simply 5/12 because it can't be simplified, because no other number but 1 can divide into it. So that makes it the simplest term. Okay, let's do one last example. Let's find the GCF, LCM, and lowest term of 16 and 24. So we put 16 and 24 into the middle here, and we get started. Well, again, there's lots of ways of looking at it, but let's go ahead and what's some number that can evenly divide into 16 and 24? Now, let's go with 4 this time. All right? Now, please note, I also know that 8 could have worked. I also know that 2 could have worked here, but you will get the same answer every single time. It just depends on how many multiples you have to go through. I picked the middle here just to show you another example. So 4 goes into 16 4 times. 4 goes into 24 6 times. Okay? So we keep going. We draw another bar. Now, how many times is 4? What goes into both 4 and 6? Well, this time I can't use just any number. Only 2 can go into both 4 and 6. 2 goes into 4 2 times. 2 goes into 6 3 times. And then finally we're left with, well, both 2 and 3 are prime numbers, so I know the only number that will go into it now is 1. So I'm done. One and done. So now let's find out what is the GCF. The GCF, remember, is if we take these outside numbers and multiply them together. 4 times 2 is 8, times 1 is 8. So the GCF of 16 and 24 is 8. The LCM, now that one, remember, we make the L. We grab the 4, the 2, the 1, and then these 2 and 3 down here. Okay? So it's 4 times 2 times 1 times 2 times 3. So 4 times 2 is 8, times 1 is 8, times 2 is 16, and then 16 times 3 is 48. So the LCM of 16 and 24 is 48. And finally, the lowest term of 16 and 24 is right here. It equals 2/3. So I'm going to give you plenty of opportunities to work on these, give you lots of questions to master your ability of using the slide method, where it's to be used to find the greatest common factor, the least common multiple, and of course the lowest term. Good luck.